Hey everybody, Soap Thing here. Thank you so much for joining me today, and if you're enjoying the content here on the Soap Thing project, I hope you'll consider subscribing below. Okay, so last month I made a purchase over at Shannon Soaps, and in the box I got a sample, and that's going to be the focus of today's review. I hadn't planned on doing a Shannon Soaps yet. It was in the pipeline, but when I smelled this, I had to bump it up to the front of the line. So let's take a look at it. It's Shannon Soaps Indigo Oud. And I got it here in a little plastic baggie to keep the smell in because I'm a dork. But let's go ahead and open it up and have a smell. Ooh, man. Now, scent strength for this one, on my usual scale of light, moderate, strong, the force is strong with this one. This is a strongly scented soap by a long shot, and I like it. So for the aftershave today, my standby aftershave for Oud scented soaps is going to be the RazoRock Tuscan Oud. So we're going to be using the RazoRock Game Changer 68 again, and I went back to my usual Personna Blaze. Now, somebody told me these are actually called Personna Reds. I've been calling them Personna Platinum Blue, but I googled it, and it does look like the Personna Reds can come in either the red packaging or the packaging that looks exactly like this. So from now on, I'm just going to call these Personna Reds. And I think that does me, actually no, the brush. Today, we're going to use this tiny little Wolf Whiskers brush. And this is an older one. You can tell by the logo on it. I got this used on a BST, and the badger knot on this is a golden nib. I don't know what kind it is, and it's probably going to be difficult for me to find out, but it does have a golden nib badger brush. Badger knot on top. Goodness sake. If I can talk today. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that does me for hardware and software this time. So let's get this started. Okay, now we're going to put the first couple sprays of water into the bowl. Pereira Shavery Unbreakable shaving bowl. And this brush is a 22 millimeter. I forgot to mention that. So tiny, tiny Wolf Whiskers brush we got here today. So let's get this stuff going here. So, what is Shannon Soaps Indigo Oud? Well, let me tell you what this is not. This is not Holy Cow Soaps King of Oud. So if you're looking for a shaving soap that is just a face full of oud, that is not what this is. In fact, on this one, I would say that the oud is in the passenger seat. Now, what's in the driver's seat? Well, all the rest of the notes. So, out of the wrapper, into the bowl, and up my nostrils, what does it smell like? Well, I get a little bit of oud, and then I get what I think is a mixture of all the rest of the notes. The oud stands on its own, but the rest of the notes come together into this sort of scent that, to me, I get pine needles or pine sap, something like that. Now, I asked Shannon for the exact notes because it's not listed on the wrapper, and in here there is tobacco and black currant. So I think maybe that's might be a little bit of what I'm smelling is the tobacco and the black currant. So if it wasn't obvious already, I really like this scent. It obviously, at the time of that this video is being filmed, this is not for sale yet on the Shannon Soaps website or through any third-party retailers, but I watched the interview that Chris Bailey did with Shannon Soaps, and they said it's coming pretty soon, so I will have to get my hands on some of this, because it is good stuff. I love this scent. Okay. I might have overwatered this just a little bit. Normally Shannon soaps lathers like a champ, but this one, it might be because I have a really small brush. That could be some of it, but I'm just going to aggressively agitate this a little bit and see if we can get, oh yeah, there we go. Where there's a will, there's a way. See, I got a little bit of residual soap in the bottom of the Pereira Shavery bowl there. Now, this is going to be my first shave in at least 3 months where I am going to use a pre-shave. The pre-shave that I'm going to use is, I have this left over from when I used to use it. It is Pereira Blue. So while the sink is filling up, I'm going to apply some of that. Might have applied just a little bit too much, but it's been a while since I've used a pre-shave. Okay, so let's apply some lather. It does appear that I made this one a little on the thin side. I probably added just a little too much water. Is it usable? Oh, of course it is. But I'm just used to making thicker lathers that are low on water. This soap really reminds me of where I grew up in northern Michigan, the northern lower peninsula of Michigan. I used to be out in the woods a lot, and it smelled a lot like this. There's a woody kind of impression that I get from this. That's not supported by the scent notes, but it really has a scent that reminds me of home. So let's see if I can avoid hacking my face apart today. Alright, here we go. Nice and slow. Slow and less pressure. Scent on this is strong. Now, if you are a shaving soap maker and you are looking for a thumbs down here on the Soap Thing project, the fastest way to do that is for me to get my hands on a soap that is very, very lightly scented. I'm going to put my glasses back on. The second fastest way to do it is for me to get my hands on a soap that I think is way overpriced. Now this is the RazoRock Game Changer 68. For the longest time, I thought that the best kind of razor for me was one that was more neutral. Like I have the Haircut and Shave N075 sitting over there. and that is 0.75 millimeter blade gap with a blade exposure of, it says neutral blade exposure on their website. And I thought that the Lupo was just an anomaly, but the Lupo seems to be working pretty well. So I've considered that maybe I misread myself, and that the best razor for me might actually be one that's more aggressive than this Game Changer 68. So I did go ahead and pick up the base plate that is the 0.84 millimeter blade gap with the open comb. So we're going to see if that lends better to my personal shaving habits. Because like I said before, maybe I didn't say this before, I might have said something similar, but I think most anybody can shave with any razor and blade combination. It's just a question of how do you have to use it to make it work for you. Does it take a certain style, finesse, or control that you either do not have or do not wish to invest in practicing it until you get it right? I think that's the biggest question, is not is this the razor for me, but do you have the patience to make this razor for you? And I've talked about timeless razors before, about how I had a bunch of them and I've since sold them all. And it wasn't necessarily, I mean, we can talk semantics if you want, but it wasn't necessarily that it was the wrong razor for me. It was more or less that I just wasn't interested in shaving with it the way it needed to be shaved with. And so it had to go. So those are all questions I think we all ought to be asking ourselves, especially if you're new to shaving. Is this really the wrong razor for me? Or do I just need to figure out how it needs to be used? And if that's the case, do I have the patience to figure that out? Looking at this shave so far, I don't think I'm going to blame the Wilkinson sword blade I had tested out on the last shave. I think it was a matter of I was going a little too fast and pressing a little too hard. So it's all about form. See if I'm missing anything else. There's no way that I can get a clean shave without blade buffing because my facial hair is just so coarse and thick and stubborn. So, I got a little one right there. But overall, I think that is... I'm going to call that a good shave. I'm going to call that a really good shave. Okay, rinse a little bit. Yep, that's good. That is very good. Okay, I'm going to come back in just a second for the aftershave. Okay. I'm going to backtrack for a second. The reason I think I need a more aggressive version of the Game Changer is because the 0.68 might be a little too mild, which is causing me to apply more pressure to my face, which is causing me to cut myself. So that could be what's going on. All right, RazoRock Tuscan Oud. it's oudy. It is definitely oudy. So, Shannon's Soaps Indigo Oud is obviously, at the time of this recording, is not for sale yet on any of the vendors, not on their website, not on any third-party vendors. So the question then devolves to, once this comes out, and if it comes out, would I buy it? Are you kidding? I'm going to buy this so fast it'll make your head spin. This will quickly become among my most favorite scents. It's going to be a top shelf soap for me. If they release it in their regular formula, it'll probably be along the lines of, if I have a Shannon soap in here, I'm not sure if their tubs are 4 ounces or 5 ounces, but I estimate it'll probably be priced around $12 to $14 a tub. And with the performance like this, I mean, let's look at the ingredients here. I know I forgot to mention that. I almost forgot. Tallow, cocoa butter, shea butter, lanolin, goat milk, vitamin E. I lied. I'm pretty sure the goat milk formula is like their next tier up. I think it's the regular formula, their goat milk formula, and then their Rust Belt Reserve. So it will probably be a little bit north of $14 a tub. I'll happily pay that. That's an easy yes for me. So Shannon Soaps, Indigo Oud. I can't wait to get my hands on some of that. And until next time, this is Soap Thing wishing everybody a great shave out there. Thank you for watching.